to confirm if we are live.
Are we live? How do I make that decision?
By going on the app and seeing if we're live.
Oh, hey.
So I think we're live. I'm not sure. What do you see? Are we live?
Working on it.
Well, now my big butts in the thing. What do you see over there?
What do I see over where?
On the webcam.
I see.
Yeah,
nothing.
we're live.
I mean, I see what it's
Okay.
pointed at.
So, all right. So you're gonna have to scoot more to your left. Please. I'll scoot around here, and then Ryan can scoot here. And what are you doing with that? Well, this is where we're sitting. We have to sit in kind of a weird way.
All right.
So, Nicole, what do you see
What do I see?
on the app?
guys?
Do you have the app up?
Well, it's not loading video, but I think that's because my data signal's kind of meh. So, but the chat's loaded.
So I need to know if we're actually live or not.
Oh.
I will load the app
I'm
and
sorry.
see if we are live. It says we just went live.
I mean, it shows that you're live.
According to Twitch, we're live. So the question is, can people see us? That is the real question. So we need someone to actually watch this to let us know if we're live. So let me go to...
What's the URL?
Twitch.tv/GridDaily.
Can I not see live stuff?
Ryan, you're not on the camera at all. BT dubs.
No? Yeah, you need to go. That's why I moved the chair kind of around.
Well, I didn't move the chair at all, so.
There we go. How about now? See more?
Yes, let's get this McDonald's pony wrapper out of the way. Or I mean, you're like cut off a bit. I guess you like snuggle.
We do. We need to get close together, I guess.
We're just taking a selfie.
Can't tell.
I think I got the one way over there. Alright.
How do I see this?
Do you want me to like adjust this a little bit?
If you can, sure. Yeah, because I can't really
There's
see.
a
If we
lot
are
of
streaming,
Rachel
bear with
on
us, guys.
laptop
This is
and
our
not a
first time
lot
doing
of-
this.
We're working on it. Okay, so it says we're
Yeah.
live.
What's the thingy again?
What's what thing?
The thingy, the URL.
For what?
The Twitch. Like,
Oh, twitch.tv/GridDaily.
Do you guys want a laptop? Right here.
For what?
The extra laptop that's on screen.
You want to mute that, otherwise it's going to be
Well,
way back out.
Don't worry. I gotta get through the.
Grid Daily.
That's for us to watch the trailer, hopefully, in a minute. I'm going through the ad now. Why?
I did that.
There you go. So let's see. It says we're live. And it says Red Bull gives us wings.
It's good to know. Thank you, Red Bull. We don't officially endorse you, but
I don't.
unprofessionally. maybe.
Staying there. I mean, it says that we're live.
I just see a black screen, but it could be.
So I don't know if this is working. I have no way to test if this is working.
Ryan, do you want to load it up and see if it's working?
Because
I don't
this
have the app on my
shows
phone.
the live view actually shows a screenshot. So someone sees us.
Yay!
That's
Yay!
good.
Thanks.
All right. Hey, yeah, there we are. Okay, cool. So this does work. Great.
Can you hear us, Dogsthorpe?
That's a good question. Yeah, can you hear us?
Yeah, there's going to be a delayed response.
That's
so.
okay. I'm okay with that. A little bit of a, how much of a delay? That's the
It's
real
like
question.
15 seconds, I think. Yes.
See, all right, great. Okay, so I'll close this here. Okay, so I guess we can go ahead and get started then. This is the first time we are streaming live something that is not a video game,
That's right.
which is really exciting. So
Oops.
I guess we can just go through and introduce
You
each
have
other.
Audacity running and recording.
Audacity has been running far longer than it should have at this point. So.
All right. Minimal editing required.
I'll just cut off the beginning there, but
The tip? Was that what you were gonna say?
I was
You're
gonna say-
cut
I was
off
gonna
the
say-
tip.
I was gonna say the tail end,
Oh,
which is
okay.
wrong because I need the other end. So I guess I'm the head. But we'll just go and we can all introduce ourselves. So we'll start with you. Who are you?
I'm Ryan. If you watch Twitch, then you probably know me because I just sit there staring at the monitor for several hours, sometimes, occasionally doing something cool.
That's true. So Ryan, you're kind of in charge of our Twitch stream. You do all of the game streaming, and you're also on Screen Heroes all the
I
time.
am. I'm on this all the time. Yeah.
So cool. Well, I'm Derek, and I'm on Screen Heroes most of the time. I was out last week with what was it that Ian said that I had?
Scurvy.
Scurvy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's getting better. I got better. And sometimes I do other stuff for the site as well. And I'm a bit of a Trekkie and a nerd, those types of things.
A bit.
How about you? What do you do?
I'm Ray.
Camera's over
I'm Ray.
there.
I do Screen Heroes with you guys. I ship it by myself. And I do Super Sirens with Hills and cosplay's fun.
Yay.
Shipping's fun.
Now I have to edit that. Why would you do that? You like making it hard for me to edit stuff, I think.
God, so many jokes.
All right. So anyway, we'll just move on.
Good idea. Right through it, Darren.
Right through. So this is exciting. So for those of you who are watching us live, thank you for joining us. We're really excited about this. For those who are just listening to the podcast, we're trying something new. We're going to try and live Twitch stream our recordings of the podcast, which is fun because you get to see any of the bits we do edit out, which is kind of cool, and you get to see us in the process.
Not so cool, but
Well, it
it's fun.
depends. I mean,
Well, the three of us have been doing podcasts with each other since August 2014. And I think we've come a long way, but we have a lot of fun doing it. So
Absolutely.
we just have to keep making it more complicated by
Yeah,
throwing in
every week.
every week.
Next week's
We're gonna
fire
juggle.
hoops.
We were close. That
Yeah.
was good. That was good.
I'm not doing any of that.
I thought you were gonna do all of it.
Negative.
We'll toss you the things as you.
No.
And
I'll
you'll be
bat them away.
naked, right?
That might happen. No promises.
So tonight's theme is Ghostbusters, right? We're talking about the new Ghostbusters trailer.
It
Yeah.
seems like just yesterday we talked about Ghostbusters, but that was a little bit
It's true,
different.
it was.
We were pitching a movie, and you should go back and listen to that one because that was a passion project for me. So
Yeah, that one was a lot of fun. Maybe cast a remake or in your case, it was more of a sequel, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So that was a previous episode of Screen Hero, so please check that one out. That one was fun.
So just to refresh everybody's memory, make sure that it's completely fresh in our minds. We're going to play the trailer right now. I'm not turning this. This is the part in time when you can load
turn it
up
on
your
yourself and watch along
Right.
with us.
So are we gonna do like a countdown so people can load theirs up then if they want to watch it with us?
No.
Some people
No.
do that.
Sorry,
Commentators
guys.
do that.
Sorry, guys. We're
Jesus.
not
I
doing
guess we're
that.
just going.
We're just going.
All right.
Here we go.
Maybe.
It's kind of going.
Quit preparing.
It's
You're always
gonna play
preparing.
by
Just
my
go.
house.
Are we reacting to the trailer?
Natural reactions there.
Have emotions. Go for it.
Inaccurate. This is inaccurate. Coming out.
Which part?
It says 4 scientists saved New York, and it was not 4 scientists that saved New
Winston.
York.
That's true. It was 3
And these are the
sides.
people that are making the movie that made
And
this trailer.
It
Just FYI.
technically was 32 years ago now?
Well, all right, but
No.
maybe this
Accurate.
movie takes place 2 years ago. You don't know.
It's for reparation. It's okay. She seems peaceful.
I think she's really
My name
pretty.
is Erin Gilbert, Doctor of Particle Physics.
I mean, it's definitely CGI, whereas the original was with
It's actually
practical
not true.
effects, but it
It's-
looks heavily CGI.
By the way,
We'll discuss it.
Okay.
very hard to wash off.
We have dedicated our whole lives to studying the paranormal. Now there's sightings all over the city. There are people out there that need our help. Holtzman, you're a brilliant engineer.
I do like the new tech. The new tech definitely looks cool. I thought we were supposed to react.
No.
Okay.
You guys are really smart about this science stuff, but I know New York. And I can borrow a car from my uncle.
You didn't disclose that the vehicle was going to be a hearse.
It's a Cadillac!
Let's go.
Let's go. Oh,
Did you wanna-
I'll let you. Next time.
Someone is creating a device that amplifies paranormal activity. We might be the only ones who can stop it. Holtzman, come on! The hat is too much, right? Is it the wig or the hat?
There's a bigger picture at hand here. These ghosts may possess the human form.
No reacting, Rachel. Derek can't do it. You can't do it.
That was a natural reaction.
Oh, hell no, the devil is a liar! Get out of my friend, ghost! Ow, that's gonna leave a mark! The power of pain compels you!
Okay.
Yay, trailer.
Can I react now?
Yeah, you can talk. Oh,
Okay. So my biggest problem with the trailer.
oh my gosh, we're already at the cons.
No, I just want to get this out of the way. Is this a sequel or is this a reboot?
Right. It's very confusing in the trailer. They say 30 years ago, scientists saved New York. They have the same
It's a
logo.
requel.
Same music.
It's not a requel. It's actually a reboot. Like they've been saying, they just are playing off the good fortune of the first movie. They're trying to like cash in on that. If they didn't reference the first movie at all, and there was nothing related other than maybe the logo, then people would be like, "What is going on right now?" You know.
I don't
That's
know.
possible.
You think that logo is not iconic enough? I mean, you could go if you take off just the beginning part, the whole 30 years ago thing, and you take that out, the rest of the movie does play like it's a remake because it plays off of the style.
No, the rest of the trailer plays like a remake. We haven't seen the movie. Let's not judge a movie by its trailer.
My mistake. I misspoke. Anyway, if you take off the beginning part of the trailer, then it's just looks like a remake. But when you add on the 30 years ago business, then it starts looking like it's a sequel.
Well, I think they're just trying to like kind of capture. That's already been confirmed that all four of the original Ghostbusters are in it in totally different roles, so it's not even related. I mean,
Unless they're not different.
Well, in all
roles.
fairness, Dan Aykroyd looks very different.
all of them look very
It's
different.
been a
No.
while.
Or except
No.
Ernie Hudson.
Ernie
Ernie Hudson
Hudson.
looks exactly the same, slightly more gray.
Bill Murray. I mean, they're older. It's been 30 years, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess we have to kind of wait and see because if maybe they are cameoing as their previous characters.
Well, I mean, I've already read descriptions of most of the of all the cameos, and none of them sound like they'd have anything to do with the original character. Though, I mean, it's
If they're
possible.
real.
Okay.
I'm just saying the trailer is confusing.
The
from
trailer
that
is
standpoint.
confusing. I totally
So.
agree with that. Yeah.
All right. So that aside, what'd you guys think?
I'll let Rachel go first. I know her opinions vary a little bit after she sneezes.
Should I keep that in or should I edit that out?
Do whatever you want.
Okay.
That's just for the webcam, folks.
Exclusive content.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I can't wait to watch this movie. I may go see it quite a few times. I'm gonna have my flight suit done soon, so I'm pumped. This movie looks hilarious.
Okay, Ryan.
So if you don't know me, I'm a pretty big Ghostbusters fan. I daily drive an Ecto-1. I built my own proton pack. These props are all mine. So I needless to say, I love the original movie.
Sure.
So I went into this with fairly low expectations, and before I really get into it, I want to let everybody know that the fact that there's 4 female Ghostbusters, I don't care one bit about it. Every one of these criticisms that I have would have been the same if it was a male counterpart.
That's sadly an important part to distinguish because a lot of the hate I see on anywhere on social media stems from that. You know, by now they've calmed down about it and the complaints have been a little splintered, but it's still, a lot of them can be rooted back to the fact that it's for women and not either a combination of men, women, or just straight up all men again.
I think that the fact that there's 4 women is kind of a gimmick, and I've not made that a secret from the beginning. But that's not a criticism. That's just what I think about it. And I feel like a lot of people that I call them the true fans, people that have loved the first movie and have taken it very seriously. And almost every time they air an opinion, the instant comeback is, well, it's just you're sexist. I just want to make it clear that's not the case at all. But yeah, I went into it with very low expectations. The trailer made me more excited for the movie than I was, so it succeeded in that, but it's still not a good trailer, I don't think. I mean, we'll dig into it, I'm sure, but I think that they kind of, you could tell the overall vibe was still there. I feel like they were really trying to channel the spirit of the original, and I feel like on some level that came through on the trailer and it succeeded. I just don't think that you can even come close to what Harold Ramis wrote for the original. The script for the original was awesome. Plus, you had people that could improvise like nobody's business.
Right.
And so when you get that perfect combination, it's like, capturing lightning in a bottle. You're not going to be able to do it. And I think that's a lot of the problem. I hope the movie's successful because I want to see all these different movies that they're saying are going to splinter off from this. I want to see that. But this trailer did not make me, super pumped about the movie. I'm sure it'll still make a lot of money, but will it be enough to start an actual franchise of movies? We'll see, I guess.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, I thought parts of the trailer were really cool. Like I said, I do like the tech. I think that the new design for the tech is pretty neat. I thought that was a nice kind of reimagination of what it looks like. At the same time, a lot of it looks really oddly dated. In some ways, certain aspects like the car almost look older than the original movies at times, just from a style perspective. Because the original, the car was so unique that it became a very iconic look. Versus in this case, it's a Cadillac hearse, and
It's not like those really evolved over the years.
well, yeah,
Well, they did from 1959 to 1986 or whatever year this one is.
right.
There's a pretty big difference.
But the design is so basic. It just looks.
It's very 80s
Yeah.
design. In the 80s, cars were a lot more boxy and like.
I guess that's true, and unlike another '80s vehicle like the DeLorean, that was iconic. Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, those were very iconic vehicles. This one, I mean, yeah, they painted it white and they put the ghost on it, but it doesn't capture me in any real special way. As far as the trailer itself goes, I mean, it seemed fine. I liked how they kind of were trying to reuse the old music, but a little bit differently.
They went the Jurassic World path with the single piano note.
See, I actually preferred that.
When I heard that at first, I was like, okay, this might not be so bad, and it got me a little pumped. And then the rest of the trailer happened. But
I thought that in this case where they're using the music, they kept hitting those same notes, and they didn't want to move past those same notes, and that almost made me a little anxious. Like, why aren't you continuing the song? I kept waiting for it to happen, and it never did.
Well, in the song may repeat those notes. It's just faster. So
Right.
back to back. There's not talking in between.
It was just that anticipation each time. It was just a little drawn out.
I feel like if you truly are a fan of the new Fuller House theme song, you can't really hate on this one.
I want to make sure I understand this. You want to put Full House on the same level as the original Ghostbusters?
Nope, I'm talking about the just changes to theme songs. For just,
I thought that the new Fuller House theme song was decent. Yeah, I did. If you don't like it, you can find me on Twitter at the Star Trek Dude. But look, the first episode of Fuller House is awful. It is so forced. It is so awkward.
We are so not talking about this.
You brought it up.
This podcast is not getting hijacked by Fuller House.
Fine. Let's bring it back. I am not a fan of the CGI style that they're using for the ghosts.
So I read an article about this. They didn't actually use CG. I mean, they did some, but they actually had a person. There's an actress, if you look it up.
Crimson Peak.
It was similar to that, yeah, where they just enhanced it with CG, and you can pretty much tell that that's a real person when you look at if you look really closely at that. I call it the librarian ghost because it's very similar to the original. But if you look at that, and there is an actress credited for that role, and they did enhance it with CG, but it was definitely a practical.
The thing is, Crimson Peak was, from a design perspective, brilliant. It was the ghosts were really
gorgeous.
well done. This it looks kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
I
I kind of disagree. I thought
agree.
the ghost design was pretty cool overall. I mean, I don't really love the new Slimer look, but I think that like the stilt ghost that was walking through
Very
Times Square was really
Tim
cool. Yeah, I thought that was a neat design, and even like the librarian ghost was kind of like, okay,
I thought
this is
she
kind of a
was
rip off of the
beautiful.
original. But yeah, it was a cool looking ghost, you
And
know. That
Are they in a library?
they might not be.
Like a federal
It could have been
building.
something. It just was very reminiscent of
Yeah,
the
I agree.
original.
I thought that the guy on the stilts, that scene. Now, obviously, we only get a very quick look at it, right? So, but that just seemed a little over the top and a little ridiculous, even for Ghostbusters. I mean, yeah, they've got the Stay
I
Puft and
think
the walking
whole
Statue of
point
Liberty, but
is that it's slightly over the top in the Ghostbusters original film. They dealt with a lot of ghosts, yes, but never like this onslaught where they were completely bombarded. So I think the ridiculousness has something to do with the story. Again, I don't know the plot. Obviously, the paranormal activity increased in New York, and they have to step up their game, which makes me very concerned that there's only 4 of them. Like if that's
hey,
true,
Chris
there should
Hemsworth
be.
is there, okay,
I know.
and you know, he's the gatekeeper, probably. I
We
don't know.
love you, Chris.
I'm sure he's watching.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
he watches our Twitch streams all the time. Hey, buddy. Anyway,
So you said you liked the tech. I think that some of it is cool looking. The actual proton pack I think is kind of lame looking, and the
the
thrower.
turbine look.
Yeah,
I
well, yeah,
really
one
wanna
that's just
see
like a
it.
big like if you look at propane like camping grills, it's what it looks like to me. It's just like a big like burner for a camping grill. You know, that's kind of dumb. It looks cool lit up. I'll
Yeah.
say that. The thrower is pretty reminiscent of the original, but a worse design of it because it looks like it was thrown together with plumbing parts.
I kind of appreciate that because I
That's-
feel like they built these things kind of scrounging together parts in their shop.
But so did Egon in the original,
Yeah, but this
and
stuff-
like that was a lot more professional and polished looking.
But it just
Again, we
looked
don't
more.
know.
It looked more factory built though. And I'm not saying he wasn't this brilliant designer who wasn't able to do that, but some of that technology just looked so perfect that it looked over manufactured in some ways. Considering the budget that they had, like why they had the car that they had, you know, and stuff like that, didn't seem to really match the quality of the technology.
I think it only looks perfect now because we see that now and it's this iconic movie. I think back in the 80s for people that watched it, it was probably pretty thrown together looking, and I think it was just as a prop maker, I kind of judge this kind of stuff. I guess it was just more cohesive of it. Like it looked like it was actually a functional machine to me.
Mhm.
This new one doesn't look like that.
The
I did like the
laser
dual
bear trap.
The laser bear
The
trap is
laser
like what are the
bear
lasers gonna do when they go?
I
I mean, come
don't
on.
care. That
Does it
was
just
really
catch
cool.
really little ghosts?
Yeah, I guess. I
Like
don't know.
squirrel ghosts.
I like the dual. I kind of like the dual pistol thing. Like it's kind of
Yeah.
cheesy, like Black Ops thing, whatever. But and like when she
But what are
licks
those
it, I
gonna
thought that
shoot?
was a cool part. But
Are they gonna shoot proton beams?
I don't know,
Or
but
That's kind of cool.
Melissa McCarthy's character like punches a ghost with one. It's like that's kind of dumb. Okay, but I hope that's not how they're used. But it's
I honestly think it makes more sense for each of them to have different weapons.
like
to
one
a
has a
certain
slime
degree.
blower, one has a.
Well, one's
Right,
a
right,
ranger, one's
Right.
a healer.
Yes. Yeah,
Right.
right.
No, it just
I get
it
that.
seems to me that people have different proficiencies. Some people's aim is better, so
Well, there's no good aim with
Give
a
'em
with
the
a proton
beam.
with a proton
I don't
pack.
know.
You've seen that? It's just like super wonky.
super straight.
I did like that they used a lot of the original sounds.
They did.
When
Yeah.
you hear the proton pack turn on, it has the same noise, which is kind of weird from like, you know, the original was a totally different design and it made the noise, same noise as this turbine looking thing. That's not the noise you'd expect a turbine looking to
I
make.
agree. I expected more of a humming up.
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
thing. But I do like the proton beams. I thought looked really good.
It was hard to tell because you only got to see this much of them,
Yeah.
really, but I mean, they look somewhat reminiscent of the original, so that's cool.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't have to match exactly, right? But we have a question.
We have a question
Yay.
All right.
from the voice of God that was not introduced, you jerks. Shocker 04 asks, would you guys prefer this movie have cameos from the original cast, living status permitting, or would you want to see it stand on its own?
Ooh.
Okay,
I'm gonna
so-
let Ryan answer this one first.
So, I mean,
Hi, John.
I think that, you know, I love those guys so much. Even though Dan Aykroyd has kind of gone off the deep end, you know, They're all kind of old, but they're all still like a brilliant part of movie history
Sure.
and also of my life and probably the lives of a lot of other people. But do I want, if this movie bombs, do I want them to be a part of it? I mean, they were in Ghostbusters 2, and that movie wasn't anywhere near as strong as the first movie. It was still, if you take
It's
it on its
not
own.
a bad sequel.
No.
You compare other sequels.
But if you compare it to the original, then it's bad. That's the thing. It's like the first one was so brilliant.
I'm not a huge fan of the second one. It's got some good parts.
I love
And
the second
seeing
one.
it.
I love
I mean, if you take it on its own, it's great.
It's
But
fine.
I
It's not as
love
good as
Vigo
yours.
the Carpathian, and I love watching the ooze like jump. I loved it.
I still like
That
it.
was funny. There were good parts in it.
There were, but I don't know. There's no way for me
Lower.
to separate it from the original. You know,
To-
I think it depends on how the cameos are handled. If it's like, because it's everybody, basically everybody who's alive except for Rick Moranis said yes
Yeah,
to returning,
including Sigourney Weaver.
including Sigourney
Yeah,
Weaver.
so
So unless they're all sitting around at like a coffee shop at the same table that our new heroes just like happen to like walk by or overhear a comment from, if they're all going to show up individually at random times, I feel like that's going to be forced.
they are all doing that, at least from what I've
I
heard. I'm not gonna spoil
honestly
anything, but
don't care. I think that it's always kind of a brush off for remakes to ignore that previous ones happened, except for horror. I'll give horror genre a slide. You know, just I don't need to see cameos from the original Jason or anything.
Yeah.
You do what you want with horror films. But this one, it is so iconic. It is incredibly just loved by so many fans, big fans, small fans, people new to the franchise. My niece saw it the other day and loved it. So I think it's a disservice if you ignore it and you don't have these guys be a part of it. If they are really behind it, then, I mean, there's
I
no
think they're
reason.
contractually obligated to be behind it.
I don't think so.
Dan Aykroyd is. I guarantee.
Dan
and
Aykroyd-
Ernie Hudson, when this movie was first like confirmed that it was happening, he was like, "This is going to be terrible, guys.
Well,
Don't go see it." And then
Bill
2 weeks later, it's like,
Murray-
"Yeah, it's going to be great."
Bill Murray is almost 100% responsible for the cast because he came up with his own fan cast, and 2 of them are in the movie.
Yeah.
The other
Yeah.
2 turned it down, but they were approached, so he is responsible for this. They all have eggs in this basket now, and
I don't know if I agree with that at all. Other than Bill Murray, who has been more vocal about it, I don't think that Ernie Hudson or Sigourney Weaver have anything to gain or lose from the success of
Sigourney
this
Weaver
movie.
has become the cameo queen. Like,
Yeah, in great
cameo-
films.
Paul.
Paul and Cabin in the Woods were great films.
Are you going to tell me you don't like Cabin in the Woods?
No, I like both of those films.
Cabin in the Woods is brilliant.
Neither one of them, though, are like giant Oscar-winning.
I never
pictures
said
that
Oscar-winning.
Created
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
franchises
whoa, whoa, whoa,
and
whoa.
legacies. Like,
Don't twist my words into a
I'm
bunch
not.
of BS. That's not what I said
I'm
at all.
not.
Now look. Sigourney Weaver cameos are great in movies we don't expect to see her in. It's a fun surprise, and she's a great actor. But in this case, you have 6 people with cameos in this movie that are all supposed to be separate individual cameos, and that's somehow not going to feel forced. I don't believe that. I also don't believe that Sigourney Weaver has anything to lose
It's
if this movie doesn't do well.
4 cameos.
And
Unless
there's-
Iggy Pop
well,
is
you can
doing
count the
Potts
original
is doing it.
Firehouse as a 5th too,
Firehouse
No, but
doesn't count.
It does.
Potts
I
is doing it though, so it's 5.
because it's from the original movie. Why would they reference it if it doesn't count as a cameo?
Does the poll count too?
It's not in it because they can't afford the Firehouse. Supposedly that's how it is. They like looking or shopping around for a place of operations, and they go to that and they can't afford it, and that's the joke. And then I bet by the end of the movie they'll have enough money that they'll rent it out then, and
Probably.
you know,
Or it'll be in the sequel.
Ghost headquarters or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I'm just gonna move on from this because this seems
Okay.
like.
It's a minefield. That's why I'm staying out.
Well, we all set our piece on it. I feel like we're good to go, right? We can talk about something else from the trailer.
Got some Twitch stuff happening.
We have a little more Twitch action.
Woo!
So if you want something controversial to talk about, AJ Beamer 8605 has it for you. He says, I think it's a he. He's claimed to be 3 different people, so who knows. A lot of people are criticizing Leslie Jones being the only non-scientist being a subway worker, and knowing the streets, and that being sort of a racial stereotype. Any thoughts on that?
I'll take this one.
No hesitation.
So, well, because Rachel and I have had some conversation about this before.
I don't necessarily
Right.
agree just yet.
So yeah, don't lump her into that just because I'm saying this. I'm sure she'll say her piece, but
Uh-huh.
I think that even getting past the she's black and she's not a scientist and she's the only black person, a black non-scientist in the group. Getting past that, there's a lot of stereotypes in her character. I mean, you've got "oh hell nah" happens in the trailer, right? Okay, so right there, you
don't say that
well,
enough.
I don't. Well, I should. You get. We can borrow my uncle's car. It's a Cadillac. Come on. Let's get that. And she's got a gold necklace with her name on it, right? I mean, she's just like yelling all the time. The whole possession scene, she turns into a Southern Baptist minister.
But that scene has other stereotypes.
Why did she slap her twice? Like, what was even the point of that?
Well,
and yelling. What's the point of yelling every line?
Slapping her twice is her getting overwhelmed by the situation and her just wanting to keep
It
slapping.
makes her look
It's
stupid.
it's the double tap rule.
Right, there you
It
go.
makes her look
Alright.
stupid that she
I
didn't realize that
disagree.
ghost flew out of her friend.
I
when she
disagree.
obviously
But that
saw it.
scene has other stereotypes in it though, because
That
Melissa
head
McCarthy's
turning?
character, I think Melissa McCarthy's character is going to have probably most of the physical humor and
Yes.
comedy in the movie, like she has in a
She
lot of
burns her
roles,
finger right off the bat in the trailer, and then also.
Well,
she
just
does
in that part, if you want to go based on just that little cutscene, Melissa McCarthy's character rips off the Exorcist head turn, which
Sure.
is in most ghost movies now, but made by Exorcist. And she also quotes Chris Farley.
I
That's
missed
really
that.
the mark.
Yeah.
So it's all just a bunch of stereotypes. And my thing about it is, if you see SNL, if you watch Saturday Night Live, that is how Leslie Jones is. Her very first appearance on camera, she played herself on Weekend Update. And she talked like that, she spoke like that. And I truly believe that it didn't matter if this character was played by a white person or a black person of any color, somebody in the group couldn't have been a scientist. They needed somebody who knew New York better, who understood the landscape. There's always
in Everyman. Like, I get it. Winston
Right.
was that in the original movie. I get
right,
that.
and he also was forced into some black stereotyping. He had just basic lines. Most of his stuff was cut out later on.
Yeah, he wasn't in the posters or anything like that.
He wasn't in
I get
the.
that, but he didn't
in the
act
4-3 card.
stereotypical. Is the difference.
My thing is, there's a huge difference between someone's personality feeding into what people have deemed stereotypes and then a character personally embracing stereotypes. I don't think the trailer is enough to know if she is stereotyped as the TV Tropes calls it the black best friend, where they're always ready to be there for the white person. They never have their own lives. We don't know that. Truth be told, subway workers need representation just as much as scientists. So
I'm not arguing with a subway worker. I'm not arguing with any of that. I'm just saying that her performance, and it may be Leslie Jones, that may be her personality. I don't watch her a lot on SNL. I think the most I've ever seen of her was the Kylo
radar
Ren.
technician.
Yeah, radar technician sketch. And she did the yelling thing in that too. I need my muffin, Matt, or whatever it was. And that was funny in that. But like, an hour and a half movie of her just yelling for humor is not, like, I just don't get it, really.
Well, I mean, and that's why we kind of have to, we can't go completely off the trailer. But from my perspective, I just figured they were trying to cast it based off of the original movie, and they were trying to fill the same 4 roles. And this goes a little bit back to, Ryan, when you were saying that in this case, it's a little bit of a gimmick that it's just 4 females, where if it was more organic, I don't think we would think that, but because they're literally trying to fill the exact same 4 spots that are in the originals, it feels more gimmicky because it's an exact mirror of the cast.
not only is it an exact mirror based on the character types, the actors cast are pretty much that as well.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
They
Except
have
that Ernie Hudson was not a comedian or anything like that before. And
No, but he also wasn't the first
And-
choice. The first choice was Eddie Murphy,
Sure.
who was a big comedian.
And
So-
honestly, Megan McCarthy got her break on Gilmore Girls, which is largely considered more dramatic than comedic. So
But she's been comedic for a while
for
now.
the past few years, yeah, her movies have been very comedic. So I'm just saying they hired SNL actors because Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray were on SNL
Sure,
because
Ramis.
Harold
Yeah.
Ramis wrote for it and appeared a couple times.
That's why they wanted Eddie Murphy.
Right.
And it was an SNL movie.
And this is
Before
an
those were a
SNL
thing.
movie too.
But that's what it looks like. It looks like it's an hour and a half long SNL movie, whereas the original Ghostbusters does not look like an hour and a half long SNL
Well,
movie.
that's because there
I
was a
think-
time when SNL was very different than it is today. The cast, I mean, when you look at the cast of SNL back then, you're talking about some of the greatest comedic actors and writers ever. I'm not so sure we would say the same thing about
But at the
SNL.
time, we
Also-
might not have said that about it.
Here's the
I
thing. 10 years later, these Ghostbusters came out after these guys had been on SNL. Flash forward 10 years later, their movie comes out. And if you go back, you look at the 1990s, 2000s cast of SNL, if they really wanted to go use that, this movie would be awful with Sherry O'Terry and Molly Shannon. Like, they,
Well, that's why they're
even
not
Will
doing that,
Ferrell and Chris
obviously. but-
Kattan, like, no.
Well, I actually think when Will Ferrell plays the straight guy is when he's at his best. So I think if they cast him
Oh,
in that
Okay.
type of role, more of an Egon style role, that he would succeed.
Yeah,
Not the Talladega Nights Will Ferrell, but the
Stranger Than Fiction.
Stranger Than Fiction, the Celebrity Jeopardy Will Ferrell. You know.
And we just have the reasons.
That's therapists. Potent potables. All right. So anyway, I think that probably answers that question though.
So when you go, if you ever went back and listened to our podcast before this trailer came out, when the news was just announced, and it wouldn't be Screen Heroes, it would be an older podcast that we did. I don't know.
was it Grid Talk? It might have been Grid Talk.
No.
I think even before that.
When we did the recasting, or
It was
No, this would have been way before all that.
oh, okay, I'm sorry.
But you can go back in history and hear me say that one of my main worries with the director and the cast was that there was going to be like a lot of bodily fluid humor and things like that.
Yes.
And first, what's the first thing that happens in the trailer? A ghost pukes on Kristen Wiig for like 6 seconds, and was it funny? I mean, I laughed, but it was a
I laughed more when she said that stuff got everywhere
Yeah.
because as
second bodily fluid joke, and that's 2 seconds
a
later.
come on, as a person, like you go to the beach, you get sand in places you don't want it, places you don't even
Right, but you
realize
don't need to
it.
tell
So
people about it.
you
You know,
tell
No,
your
I
closest
get your joke,
friends.
though. I get your point about the joke.
If we were in that situation and one of you got puked on, I would immediately ask like how long it took to clean that up. And
Part of the problem is
that's probably
they can't do a lot of the same humor they could do in the original because of the PG-13
there's
rating.
no way
So-
you're gonna see Kristen Wiig have a ghost go down on her. That's not gonna happen.
Well, they want it to be a PG movie, and they can't do that today. That scene with Dan Aykroyd would have pushed the movie to a PG-13 rating. That just didn't exist back then. This is supposed to be a
Right.
kids' movie, and it's going to be kind of played that way, and that's the type of thing that kids are more likely to like. It's more of clean humor, so to speak.
Huh.
You know?
yeah, and kids love puke and
Of course, look at
Yeah,
Nickelodeon.
slime.
Everyone was slime
No,
for 2
I get
decades.
that, but I mean, that was I'm just saying that my fear was obviously founded in some sort of reality. Paul
I
Feig
know.
likes to do this
I
kind of
feel
stuff.
like they were gonna work with the slime stuff anyway. They did it multiple times in the first 2
They
films
did, but
and
not
in the
like saying it went to all the
cartoon.
cracks. And
Well,
like,
it was never puke, and
Yeah.
they never really made any other references.
you
like
never really
that.
knew what it
That's-
came from. It was just an ectoplasmic residue that the ghost left.
And
It
they
was-
handled it in more of a scientific way the rest of the time. Now, maybe
Right.
that's how it will be in the movie, right? Maybe one of the other characters will say something like that. Again, it's a trailer, and as we've seen, lots of movies get really bad trailers and end up with decent movies.
Yeah,
It's happened many times.
yeah, and especially the Paul Feig movies. So I mean, I
Yes, Spy did very well.
Spy did very well, and the trailer was terrible. And there's been a couple
I
other ones.
completely agree with that.
Yeah.
The trailer put me off from it so much that
But this trailer
I
did
didn't
not
wanna
put you
go-
off of it, just to compare.
no.
Right, but it
So-
depends what you're looking for.
But the
Agreed.
Bridesmaids trailer also didn't put me off, and I absolutely adore that movie. Ellie Kemper is adorable.
But trailers are important. A good example is White House Down with Channing Tatum and Jamie Foxx. There were 2 versions of that trailer. The first one was super serious, like Olympus Has Fallen. It's like hardcore, very, very serious. It looked terrible. Then they recut the trailer to more what the tone of the movie was, which made it more like a Bad Boys meets Die Hard, buddy cop type film, and it was spectacular. Tone of the trailer really
Matters.
affects what people's image of the movie is,
Well,
and it doesn't always reflect the
And
film.
the trailer is usually passed from the company. It's passed down from the editing to the trailer company. Completely separate group. They usually have nothing to do with the film. And they see a very unedited version of it. So that's why we used to get a bunch of trailers in the 80s and 90s that had pieces that never showed up in the film.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's important to say too that this trailer was supposed to drop in December,
Right.
but they delayed it until March because they said it was because of not having all the visual effects done. But then
That's
some
fair.
people came out on Reddit that supposedly worked for the trailer company and said that they couldn't decide how they wanted to cut the movie. And, whether that's true or not, take it with a grain of salt. But I tend to believe it after having seen the trailer that they really don't know
Which
direction they want to go with the movie.
On the flip side, though, if we believe the original reports that it was an effects issue, then maybe this is all that they had the effects done for.
And this was not an effects-heavy trailer.
Well, all the ghosts. I mean,
the ghosts in Times Square or whatever was.
There are
pretty
ghosts in
intense,
several
but-
scenes. You have what you're calling the librarian ghost. You do have the slime scene. You have the ghost leaving McCarthy. You do have a lot of
There's
effects
some,
in
yeah.
there. So the question is, what was done? If this was all that was done, maybe this is what they were forced to work with.
And they came out with that 3 months after the original date. I mean, that's what makes me worried. Is that are we seeing what they think?
believe
That's
that.
the first thing you said that makes me worry as well. When something is pushed back so much, I don't believe it's going to have the same effect as it would. I truly don't believe that there's going to be an Avatar 3 after Avatar 2. You can't make a sequel 12 years later, a direct sequel, and have it still work. And we saw that with Anchorman. Everybody is pumped for this movie.
I liked
the first one
Anchorman
was
too.
so-
Sorry,
Yeah, my very PC
I liked it.
everything is.
Look, I find it hard to
That movie
believe.
was terrible.
I find it hard to believe that a massive production company couldn't put together a trailer and it took them 3.5, 4 months to do it. I don't buy that.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at what Warner Brothers has done with Batman vs. Superman, or what Marvel Studios has done for every single MCU film, I mean, what Lucasfilm did for Star Wars, trailers come out all the time with very heavy special effects, with lots of complicated plots.
Well, it's not like
You
it
could
was
have given us something.
It's not like it was a rumor that it was coming out in December either. It was
Right,
Paul
no, I
Feig
know.
tweeted that it was coming
Yeah.
out.
So
and
I
then it
want
didn't.
so that's why I'm more likely to believe that it was an editing effects issue wasn't ready, because you're not going to say we're going to drop the trailer on this date if you're the director of the film and you have no idea what the messaging of the trailer is going to be. I mean, a year before Star Wars came out, they had a teaser trailer.
Yeah.
Right? That's why I find it hard to believe that they just didn't know. You could have done anything to drop a trailer just to show people your actors and your tech. And it doesn't even have to be much of a message. You could have made it a 40-second teaser trailer that just shows who's in the movie, what they look like, what the tech looks like, and you show a ghost.
It's true. The teaser posters were beautiful.
Yeah, they were
really cool. The fact that they showed part of each character and part of each tech was really cool. I didn't think they needed a full character standing
No, I thought
after
those were
that.
great.
So they worked really well.
Are we
So-
talking potential spoilers at all for the movie?
Well, it depends. Is it a rumor or is it a confirmed thing?
Well, there's, for example, at Toy Fair, they had a specific toy that the report was that it was the ghost that's like the Stay Puft at the end of the movie.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember you talking a little bit about that. So I guess if you want to, we can. This is a spoiler alert. You might want to jump ahead a couple of minutes. For those of you watching on the stream, I mean,
Cut out for a
I am
couple
so
minutes if
sorry.
you really don't. But it's an unconfirmed.
It's-
yeah, like
it's
we don't.
based
None
on
of
a
us have
toy.
seen the movie. So the toy was the.
Was it a Funko Pop?
I
Like
know it was
Derek
not.
wanted it to be?
It was not. It was a.
come on.
It was the ghost from the no ghost symbol.
Yeah.
And it was very, like, if you've seen the real Ghostbusters cartoon,
Yeah.
like the ghost is like walking through the streets and then jumps into the
Yeah.
thing. It's like that, except there's not a nice way to say it, like
Or sperm?
No, like it was just like a much worse, dumb-looking version of that. And
Interesting.
the rumor is that like they have a very similar thing to what happens in the original Ghostbusters movie, where it's like choose the form of the Destructor.
Oh, no.
And they had just been in the subway where they saw that logo spray painted on the wall, and one of the characters was like, "That was what I was thinking about," and that's the ghost.
It just popped in there.
Yeah, and that's the rumor is what how that is going to play out, and if that's the case, that's really horrible.
I completely agree.
We'll have to wait and see though. With nothing in the trailer, I'm gonna wait and see. I mean, Batman vs Superman has had a lot of these issues with his action figures. There's Lex Luthor's in their mech suits. There's Batman in trench coats, and there's all these different action figures that are out there with different names. So everyone's making assumptions on what these things mean. It might just be one of the ghosts that shows up,
possible,
and
sure.
it's supposed to be iconic because it's the logo that they have.
Right.
I feel like right now, just based on having seen the trailer, I feel like a lot of the things that could be potentially bad decisions that I hear as a rumor, I'm just like, that is totally feasible, unfortunately. And,
Yeah.
There were good things about the trailer. I know I'm focusing all on the negative. There were good things, and I think I've kind of voiced some of those, but
I
I'm
think
just worried.
it looks like the 3 original girls, the 3 scientists, they have a good bond, they have a good friendship, they trust each other, and I think the reason that Leslie Jones joins them makes sense. I would be more apt to apply to a small group like that if they were all female, whereas maybe a group of all male scientists might intimidate me because I wouldn't know exactly how they would treat me just right off the bat. I would probably want to talk
Especially
to...
after Venkman like hit on you for 7
Right.
8 years.
I want to immediately talk to Annie Potts' character and be like, so, any lawsuits going on?
Right.
Or
Well, you're right. That's Chris
spanking?
Hemsworth in this movie, so.
And I guarantee you that's another thing that here's my prediction. We didn't get any of it in the trailer, but my prediction is that one of the Ghostbusters, my bet is Kristen Wiig, has like constant hitting on the receptionist jokes.
I'm sure she
calling
does.
that
No. Kate McKinnon. Hands down, her character is going
It's
to
possible.
objectify Chris.
Well, when the movie
Hemsworth.
comes out, we're going to pull this podcast back up
Yeah.
and find out who is right.
I'm saying this right now,
Live on Twitch.
live
Kristen
on
Wiig is
Twitch.
going to be the one that hits on Hemsworth
Kate
the whole time.
McKinnon is going to hit on him more so than
I
Kristen Wiig
think
does.
that Kristen Wiig is supposed to be the Egon character.
Yeah,
and
I
Egon
do.
and Annie Potts had kind of like, it was supposed to be a romance. I
That's
just feel like
true.
that's going to be how they
But he didn't really hit on her. Like, he was kind of oblivious to her flirting.
That's true, but I mean, she definitely like kind of came on to him.
Pretty strong, yeah.
And that may be the case this movie. I just feel like that's not going to be. I think it's going to be Kristen Wiig going boom straight for the old Hemsworth there.
All right, so you're going to owe me dinner when you lose.
Sure, we'll call it that.
Okay.
And you're going to owe me a more expensive dinner when you lose.
Because I make more than you.
That's
I'm not saying that.
All right. So I think we're getting closer on time. We've been doing this for a while now. So what are any final thoughts? Anything else you guys want to
Any
hit
other
on?
things from the stream?
Yes, from the stream, Dogs Thorpe
I love you,
Song
Doug
name.
Thorpe.
has a comment that Kristen Shaw should have been cast in the movie.
Yes, so much yes.
She's
Was she in my fan casting?
She
I think she
was,
was,
yeah.
yeah.
She would have been so great. I
Yeah.
love her.
That would have upped this movie's value for me. Like, I would be looking forward to it way more if Kristen Shaw was in it.
the thing about comedians nowadays, there's a huge chunk of them that don't participate in SNL, and back in the 70s that just wasn't it. You either came from Second City or you came from SNL or you did both. And while Tina Fey and Amy Poehler are like feminist gods in my book, it would be really cool to see like Jessica Williams or Mindy Kaling or Kristen Shaw be part of this, because they're all very talented writers. They're all very talented comedians, and they would all bring something unique to the table. So
I would love to see Tina Fey and Amy Poehler in a Ghostbusters
Yeah, I
movie.
think that would be hard.
Mhm.
Did you guys ever see the
Yeah,
video that came out of like Kristen Shaw auditioning for? Well, it was. I think it was Star Wars. It's been a while since I've seen the thing. She like runs in, but she thinks she's auditioning for Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters. She was like, "Oh, I've been slimed." And we were like, "This is an audition for Star Wars."
Oh,
it's not Ghostbusters.
See, that's a new recasting for me. So yeah, so Kristen Shaw, Tina
Well, you
Fey.
weren't that excited
Amy
about it when
Poehler.
I said it during the recast.
You know, I think I was just too focused on trying to come up with my idea. 'Cause I really
That's fair.
I struggled coming up with my recasting. I had a
Remember
really hard time.
he cast all dramatic actors.
Yeah.
He cast like Paul Giamatti
Right.
and Jerry.
And then
I-
just a Funko toy.
I'm doing this right, all right. This is gonna be this is Batman versus
We got anything
Superman
else?
in the Ghostbusters.
Oh my god, gritty
What else we got from the
Ghostbusters.
screen?
Gritty
All right.
Ghostbusters.
AJ Beamer, 8605,
Very,
is
very
a
active.
talkative person here. Probably because of the 3 split personalities he has.
That is complicated. I want to make sure they each get to ask
3
a question.
parts, question/comment.
We'll each take a part.
And they're all kind of directed towards Ryan.
Okay,
But
they
you guys
all
can
take
answer
those
too.
then.
That's
No,
fine.
it's for me, guys. Sorry.
Let us say, hey, Ryan.
So, Ryan, are you available?
For
I mean,
what?
no.
For what is
Like,
the question?
like romantically, no. Available for like
They didn't specify.
prop building, sure.
Oh, which leads into another part of
Ryan
the
is
question.
available for lots of things.
Does Ryan foresee himself doing any props for in the movie?
No.
You're not gonna make
I mean,
anything.
maybe I don't. It would depend on if the movie's actually good, but I really don't love the.
So you're gonna wait until it comes out?
Yes, I really don't love the new proton pack like I was talking about. I really don't love a lot of the designs, so I probably won't
What
unless
if
I
I
get commissioned.
commissioned?
Yeah, if Rachel commissions me to build her one of the new proton packs, sure, I'll throw one together for her. I don't have a problem with
Yay!
that.
Okay.
But
Don't forget the heart on the
yeah,
radioactive.
I got it. What was the third part?
The third part is how many 3D printers will Ryan have by 2017?
643.
Well, at the rate they're multiplying, who knows?
And I'll take the over.
Be over.
Good question. I like when they're directed to me and I get to forget about Rachel and Derek for a minute.
That's all I've got.
Okay,
They don't like you too. I'm sorry.
Oh.
That's fine. It's cool.
it's cool.
Ryan is just more mysterious. I
No, they
understand.
know about me because of the Twitch streams. Obviously, these are people that
Obviously.
watch the
Hardcore.
gaming, and they watch.
Hardcore
They should know you
Twitchers.
too, though. I mean,
Well, they should know my avatar that you've built up.
no, it's basically
Hardcore.
it's you. Let's just get real.
it
You can
is me.
see the face.
I will say
it's
this,
exactly the same.
The character Ryan built of me for Fallout 4 is better built than
I made him the Dark Knight Returns version of Derek, like built like a
Yeah.
brick poo house, and like like just huge.
The Fallout 4 Derek does not eat as many Thin Mints as I do.
He eats a lot of like radioactive gummy bears and stuff like that. I guess
And
I
like,
don't know.
you know, metal shavings.
Yeah, and
of course.
Deathclaw eggs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, so watch that, check that out. I don't know what I'll do another one probably later this week. I don't know. We'll see.
It's good. It's good. Okay. So, anything else in the Twitch stream?
Nope. They just love
All right,
Ryan.
They love
They
me.
love
Right.
Ryan.
Final thoughts,
They love
gentlemen?
Ryan.
I think I said my piece. I am going to go see the movie. I hope it's better than the trailer makes it look.
Agreed.
I think the movie is not going to be anything groundbreaking, anything spectacular. I don't believe I'm going to like it as much as I did Jurassic World. Yes, I love Jurassic World. Dinosaurs should always eat people. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun, though. I think it's going to bring new fans in, which is what a franchise always wants. And I think it's going to really make the movie appeal to women and little girls. And I know that doesn't necessarily matter to you guys, but growing up as a little girl, when you ask your parents for Ghostbuster toys and, you know, they tell you they're boy toys, then
They are in the boys section at Walmart.
exactly, it kind of
That's what
sucks.
it is.
So I'm excited to see if Mattel makes these women into Barbies. That would be awesome. Or if they had their own cool action figures, or if they made replica proton packs.
Well, they're definitely doing those last two for
Well,
sure.
they should build
They've shown
them
them.
for women's bodies, because I put on one of yours before and I thought I was going
Did
to die. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I tried it on.
Oh
the
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
You
Thought I was
about
gonna-
you about what?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, Ryan did build that proton pack for him, though, and it's
I
mostly
am a
metal, and you know,
As the
but-
stream knows.
right, yes. Okay, so what else is going on at Grid Daily this week? So we've had a couple of other things go on. Ryan, of course, doing your Twitch streaming. You've done some Torchlight 2
Torchlight
recently?
2, yeah, I've done Torchlight 2. I've done more Fallout. I've done what else have I done? I haven't done a Super Meat Boy or any of those. I did have requests to do like a Retro Tuesday or something where I play an old SNES game or something like that. So that might happen.
Awesome.
We'll see.
That'd be really cool. I've got a couple PS4 games I've been thinking about streaming. Maybe Bastion, Resogun, maybe some Gauntlet. We got Gauntlet, so maybe some of that. If anybody's interested. Ray, you had a new episode of I Ship It this week.
I did. I shipped The Flash and Supergirl, specifically their current TV versions. I'm going to have another episode of I Ship It soon. I'm filming it probably this week. And I'm going to ship Blink and Nightcrawler from X-Men.
Nice. So I Ship It is moving to a every other week format.
As of right now, that's honestly because con season's ramping up. I've got commissions and cosplays to do. I've got events every week for 9 weeks in a row between April and June. So that is what's going on with me. I'll film as many I Ship It's as I can, but please, in the meantime, give me ideas, suggestions, argue with me about them, make me defend my choices.
Awesome. So we have 4 episodes out now.
Yep.
This is season 1, which focuses all around comic book and superheroes.
Right.
So you've done DC and Marvel so far.
Obviously, I'm struggling to branch out, and it's because not a lot of other comics have shared universes. So it's difficult to pick out characters that aren't already together, haven't already slept together in some format. Like, there's no way I could ever ship anything from Amory Wars. I mean, Coheed and Cambria actually were together in that one, so it doesn't make too much sense. So if you have somebody you'd like me to ship from Image, Top Cow, even Vertigo, make it happen. Just bring it on.
Cool. As far as I'm concerned, I've been doing a couple unboxing videos. I just unboxed the first Legion of Collectors subscription box from Funko.
We should be getting the Smuggler's Bounty here in the next couple weeks.
That's right. And I think our
We'll be
Marvel
doing that.
Collector Core 1-year statue shipped. So
Yeah.
I might unbox that one, see if
Uh-huh.
that's what that's all about. And then I'm bringing back Grid Talk this week. So
Yay!
for everybody who's been listening up until now, Screen Heroes has been dual posted on its own feed, but also the Grid Talk feed. So for those who use RSS feeds or iTunes, you've been able to find every episode of Screen Heroes with Grid Talk. This is the last episode that will be the case for. From now on, Screen Heroes will be on its own RSS feed. You can subscribe to it on iTunes at screen-heroes.com. And Grid Talk is going to be continuing as a weekly, more of news and current events focused podcast that I'm kicking off this week. It'll come out every Friday. And I am actually going to be live streaming that on Twitch as well. So you can join me there. And if you have questions, I'll be able to answer those in the stream. You can have suggestions, put things in there that I can talk about as well. All of that would be greatly appreciated. As always, though, if you do listen, please drop us a rating on iTunes. It's the biggest podcast place that's out there. So drop us a review, subscribe there. If you're listening, we're doing Twitch streams now, so go to twitch.tv/griddaily to follow our Twitch channel. Ryan does tons of video game stuff there, plus we'll be doing more of this, so we can kind of vary up the content a bit. If you miss it live, we're going to export all of this type of stuff to YouTube too. So we have a huge YouTube channel where you've got I Ship It and Twitch videos, unboxings, and pretty much everything else we're going to be doing. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
No.
I'm good.
We're good? All right.
Love you guys. I really hope they make Back to the Future with like Helen Mirren and Emma
No Back to the
Stone.
Future. Robert Zemeckis said over his dead body.
Helen
He
Mirren.
will die someday.
Someday, but not today.
Helen Mirren and Emma Stone. Female, all female
That's
Back
cute.
to the Future.
That is cute. But,
right? It's not a bad
I don't think Emma
casting.
Stone is quirky enough.
Maybe we'll do
for
a Back to the
Marty
Future
role,
recast or
but
sequel
eventually.
or whatever.
Maybe we'll talk about it. All right, so you can follow us everywhere. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/Screen Heroes Podcast. You can tweet us at Grid Talk Tweets or find our website at griddaily.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching if you're out there on the Twitch stream. And we will catch you next week.
Long live Super Sirens!
Okay.
What's up? Do you want to? Oh, you guys don't want to plug your other stuff. I'm
No,
sorry.
I don't really.
I'm
If
so
somebody's
sorry.
made it this far, they know about my.
Every time I ask, Ryan's always like, "Well, as you've heard me say before, you can find me at Buster Props and Costumes on Facebook."
He said it wrong. It's costumes and props.
That's okay. or just Buster Props?
Buster Props is where I got confused. My apologies. Find him at Buster Props.
Rester.
And you can find Ray at Super Sirens on Facebook and Twitter.
And
Good save.
Instagram.
Instagram's at Super Sirens Cosplay.
Yes. yes.
So,
Good save.
all right. We good now? We
We're
good?
good.
All
We're
right.
good.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
So,
Should probably hit
hit the stop streaming when you have an opportunity there.
Stop streaming. I don't
Hello,
see
my baby.
buttons.
Hello, my darling.
Oh, I see it.
All right.